Hello, everyone, and welcome to day 0 of the Drop Frames E3 2016 coverage. It's bright and early here on Monday morning. I think Sam might be the most tired. Sam, what time did you go to sleep?
Huh? Who am I?
What time? Even your voice is a little shaken.
I'm a normal. Yeah. Aircon in America fucks me up. I'm a normal. I won't sleep at a normal time, but I'm just not a morning person. So.
All right. Well, I
Fact
did
accurate.
not. I went to bed about 4:30, so I'm a little sleepy.
Wait, well, but what time is it for you?
Not. I woke up at 9:30,
Okay.
so about 5 hours. Not too bad.
Yeah, not too
You
bad.
have way less sleep than me.
It's still respectable. Yeah. I had to watch Game of Thrones. I didn't want it spoiled for me during the show, so
That's true.
Understandable.
I had to watch the show.
One glance at Twitter, man, and you're fucked.
Exactly. Yeah.
Somebody says something, and you're like, "Fuck you, man!" And not only have you lost a friendship, you've also lost the sweet, sweet feel of watching Game of Thrones.
Yep. Exactly. So, regardless, E3 begins about an hour from now. We're a little bit early, but we wanted to really preview all of the 4 conferences that are going to be going on today. Xbox PC Gaming, the Ubisoft conference, and then last but not least, the Sony conference, which you can actually see all right here with fixed times. Thank you very much, Twitter. I do know the difference between AM and PM. You don't need to tell me 3,000 times because I did get that. Well, Daniel got that wrong anyways. But anyways, that's the show schedule for today. I guess we could just start off and go through Microsoft and all the different conferences. So Microsoft will be an interesting one because they actually have new hardware that they're showing. We don't know if it's going to be the new Well, there's a new SKU, which is an Xbox Slim. I can actually pull up photos of that in due time. But they also might announce the Scorpio Xbox, which is the beefed up Xbox, which can actually handle 60 FPS, probably. That's the hope, at least.
We hope.
But apart from that, they're, I think, the only people really showing hardware today because PlayStation announced they will not be showing their new SKU, the Neo, which is their beefed up system. So that's what I'm most interested in, is to see how they handle that message if they do decide to go that route. PlayStation actually was commenting saying it's kind of just like buying a new cell phone with the iterative updates once per year. So I don't know how you spin that. I mean, it kind of is like a cell phone 600 if you're not in contract. So
I don't know about the rest of you, but if I was buying a phone once a year with as much as I use the PlayStation 4, that phone would basically be new. Like, I would not need a new phone.
Also, that's like a step closer to just like bullying them into buying their system. It's like, look, it's only $500. Come on, you got it, right?
It's like a coffee.
Come on, it's like once a year. Come on, $500.
Coffees. Like, what's the problem?
I know. You cheapskate. You not appreciate us? Come on. Well, Sony, Jesus.
I don't know the positive way to spin a new console already when the last ones had updates to the consoles, but they were slim. There was no performance upgrades at all over the course of 7 years. And now you're 2 years into this console cycle, and they're already like, guys, we've got new consoles for you.
Do we agree that one of the reasons they're doing this is to head off the NX?
Yeah, that could be a good.
Oh yeah, completely.
I think so. Do you think they even care about? I don't know if they even care about Nintendo.
Nobody knows what the fuck it is.
I think
that they're a little worried.
I think they're doing it because they can't compete with the PC market. PC market's going like this in terms of hardware specs, and then console market's going like this. So unless they like speed up, consoles will die.
But wouldn't it be far more? Never mind. Wouldn't it be far more beneficial for them to just like make games, so like put more games on the system so that it has more value? I don't know.
Especially with how sparse the games have been in the later consoles.
Yeah.
But one thing that's kind of interesting is this is a first for both of these companies with these 0.5 systems. What I'm kind of curious about is either two things happened. Either the execs got together and said, hey, you want to do this? Are we doing this? All right, let's do this. And then they both agreed on it. Or one of them did it first and the other said, hey, I'm going to get in on this too. So it's like, I'm kind of curious, like which one was announced first? Was it the Sony or the Microsoft?
None of them.
Right?
It was Sony, right?
None of them were actually announced until about a week ago. It's only been like leaked papers.
But even then,
is the Neo different from the PS 4.5?
Those are the same thing. Those are the same
Okay,
thing.
that was announced way back.
That was those
have
had
been talking about that for months.
They have been talking about it, yeah, because there was leaked papers about the entire hardware specs of that entire system that Giant Bomb obtained like almost 2 months back, and everyone was just kind of like, "What the like a new that concept was so foreign." It was probably just to judge.
Yeah.
It was honestly probably leaked by Sony just to judge people's opinions on what that would be like. And so Sony was definitely the first to announce, but then all of the rumors right after that started coming from Xbox camp for the Scorpio, which is pretty much touting the same thing. This is a picture of the new Xbox Slim. Looks very similar to a PS4, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure.
There was a second shot leaked. I don't think it's on this site on Hard OCP, but
well, it doesn't look like a PS4. PS4 still has like the rounded front, right?
But on the side it got a little slant.
Yeah, there's another picture of it standing up where it kind of looks like a PS.
Yeah.
But from this angle, what it looks like to me is a straight up PS2.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like a
Yeah, a little
old
bit.
school PS2 where it's just like block, you know?
A little bit. Some of the things that would be nice, because we all own Xbox Ones. We haven't used them in the longest time, but that console is fucking huge. Like it is.
Yeah.
Mine is standing right next, and the PS4 is about half the size, and it comes with the power brick on it as well, which is just, it's not even in the system
which is
itself.
also freaking huge.
Yeah, which is fucking huge itself. So like, I hope they fix some of that stuff.
Like 30 pounds total.
I also was reading that they're gonna have DisplayPort out from the console, which would be an interesting thing as well. So
Not for VR.
yeah, I would guess so. I think is that what the Oculus uses? Because one of the other rumors for Xbox conference is that they're going to announce a partnership with Oculus rather than just making their own VR stuff.
Yeah.
Which
Like
is smart
Vive and
move.
Oculus use DisplayPort, and also the current consoles don't have like the hardware to run them,
Right.
which is probably why they're upgrading us so early.
Yeah, that's true. I hadn't thought of that. And I feel like every company in some way is going to have to mention VR, whether it's, creating partnerships with VR or developing for VR. Like now that people are starting to get these systems out there and realizing like, oh, maybe this isn't just a gimmick. This is like pretty fucking cool.
Right.
I think it's going to be something they have to mention, at least in a small sense.
I'm glad that we got through day -1, which is the dumbest name, E3. I can't believe we did that. And we only had Bethesda mention about 10 minutes. Well, not even that, maybe 5 minutes of VR, and that's it. Because, like, one of the hardest things for VR is to just show it in a conference setting. Because you can't. Like, no one's wearing a VR headset, so you can't simulate that experience at all.
Interesting though, like I don't know if you guys noticed with Bethesda's stage when they announced the VR stuff, like all these projection screens on the stage like curved and like it looked like a bent image, and the whole stage became the Fallout 4 thing. So it was kind of interesting. It looked like they were trying to do that a little bit, but just like you said, it didn't really translate. It's a good attempt though.
Yeah, someone brings up a great point in the chat that Microsoft already has a partnership with Oculus, and that's that they provide the controllers for the Oculus. I guess an Xbox controller ships with the Oculus when you buy it, which I think that's true because they don't have the sticks like the Vive. Yeah,
mine came with the Xbox controller. So
yeah, so that would make sense for that partnership to continue and that be the VR solution for Microsoft. They might go the route of not announcing the Scorpio thing, and we might see like a conference from each of the two camps a month or two from now where they actually try to explain that to the common person.
Yeah. The last two E3s, I want to say, Microsoft has tried to have this whole big section where they focus on indie development, right? Or like indie games that they're bringing onto Xbox. So we'll probably get that. We'll probably have one of those.
Do you guys remember what last year when they did like the hologram mic?
Yes.
Yeah.
And just like never talked about it again.
Yeah, what system was that supposed to be?
That was the HoloLens.
The HoloLens,
yeah.
HoloLens. Holy fuck, I forgot that existed.
They might mention it again.
We'll touch on that again today, right?
It might, yeah.
I'm really hoping they actually show more of that, because that was one of the more impressive things last year, especially seeing like how the whole system was easily manipulated, and he was actually like almost pinpoint accuracy doing things and seeing the other player. Like that was really cool. I hope we see a lot more of that this time. I really hope it didn't go the way of Battle Cry. Is that what it was called?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the what the application is. Is that a consumer thing? Is that a super high-end consumer thing? Is that something you give to, like, is that something that you actually start selling to like medical companies and have it go that route and not take it to games? Like, I don't know what Microsoft uses that for.
Yeah, it feels very Tony Stark, right? I think the only well, Sam, you used it right with Halo 5.
They had it at last E3 for a Halo 5 experience, but it was specifically used for like a gimmick where you kind of like went into a hangar and they were like, put this on, and then there was like arrows leading you to a room.
Right, I remember that.
You saw like a hologram of Master Chief speak to you, and then you took it off, and then you went and played a game. So like, there's like no application for it to be with their games. I don't know how they're going to use it, but obviously it's some hella cool tech.
So obviously it's not ready yet, though.
Yeah, people are saying the HoloLens dev kit is $2K right now. You can actually buy a dev kit for it. So,
yeah.
I don't know if those are shipping or what the status of that is, but hopefully we see something like that. And coming from Xbox. I don't know if they're going to talk about Scorpio. They're definitely going to talk about Slim. Those images have already leaked, so there's going to be some mention of new hardware regardless. In terms of games, we're going to see probably Crackdown, definitely Gears of War 4, Crackdown 3, that is. Gears of War 4. There were some other ones that were for sure going to be probably a new Forza game.
Forza.
Sea of Thieves.
Sea of Thieves. I hope we see some of that. Yeah.
Thieves, I know it's on the show floor, so it'd be kind of weird for them not to cover that.
We're going to see more of that then, which last year all we saw was kind of a cinematic trailer, which was really more of a proof of concept. I don't know if they were showing anything behind closed doors.
Yeah.
I never heard anything about it, but
Can I make a bet?
Okay, first bet of the day.
First bet of the day. First bet of the day for Microsoft. They never mentioned Kinect.
That was going to be a bet that I was going to make.
Do
they say Connect? Because we were talking about this when we did our pre-E3 show last week on Drop Frames with Wheat, and he was basically saying, and I agreed with him, I think we all did, if they don't mention Connect at this conference, Connect is dead. Like, Connect will never be mentioned again.
Yeah.
I don't know how they would like, the only way that would make any sense would be that, and when they talk about VR and their relationship with Oculus, that is the solution for room space VR, is that they use Connect.
Yep.
Or they could do a segment on failed ventures.
That's true. That's true. They're going to start off the conference.
They've already got like an hour and a half, not 5 hours.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. Yeah. No,
But
I'm pretty sure mentioning Connect at Microsoft right now is grounds for firing.
Probably.
Yeah, so I would be very surprised. It would be interesting. I would love to actually see one of the big wooden hooks come on stage and pull someone off.
Yeah.
So I kind of hope that happens a little bit in the back of my mind. But yeah, if they even mention that system, I will be surprised, unless it's a stepping stone reference. Like, we started with Connect, but you hated that, so now we have, and they bring in like some new tech or HoloLens or something like that. So that would be kind of nice. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. I think like the only way would be if that's their, like, if even Oculus adopts it as their, if they just package that in with an Oculus and that's their room space solution. Like, you could probably tweak a Kinect to make it do what the sensors do for Oculus or for Vive in some sense, but I don't know.
Anyone that thinks like Oculus is a poor man's Vive, like, they're on different levels for me.
Well, the only that's a whole show that I don't have use. I don't have firsthand use of the Oculus, but I think the biggest thing is that the Vive has the room space sensors and it has the 2 controllers, which are coming for Oculus.
Compare them because of that.
And does the
One is
Rift?
retail and one isn't.
Does the Rift have a camera in it? Or
Yes.
it wasn't. Oh, the Rift does have a front-facing
I
camera.
think
in
it does have a front-facing camera. Yeah.
Well, I have a Vive I have a computer to run it coming in 2 days, and I also ordered a Rift. So I'm gonna be trying both of them because I had a lot of people ask me about them. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get both, and I'll let you know like what both of them are. So we'll be able to at least have an idea about it.
Yeah, my Vive gets here on Thursday because they finally just got all of the stock in for it. So I'll get to test it out then and set all that shit up. But
I gotta say though, from the people that I talked to, I heard more than a couple people say the Rift was okay when they tried it at, I think last year's, it was either a PAX or last year's E3, but the Vive was incredible. That's the message I kept getting, was like, the Rift is cool, but has some problems. Also, I think the Rift is bigger. And then the Vive, though, is definitely what the go-to was. I think Shannon actually was talking about it, too.
yeah, I remember she was very big up on the Vive. But I don't know like how much. I don't know how much time they would devote to something that is not their own hardware when it comes to VR, unless they're trying to, you know, have that side-by-side comparison with Sony, where it's like, we got VR too, like don't forget about us. I don't know. It would be weird. And the other thing is, I don't know what games they would show. I don't know a game that like a first-party title from Microsoft that would work in a VR experience. Maybe Crackdown if they go first person.
Forza, man.
Well,
Halo, maybe. Yeah.
Forza, yeah.
And actually, I think, yep, Dex just nailed it. Basically, the thing with VR right now, any game where you have to move around, like your character physically moves around the game world, it becomes really weird because either you have to move your character with the controller, in which case you're moving around, but you're actually standing still, or you're walking around, in which case you have to point to different areas to reorient where you can walk around. Both are super awkward. But as Dexpo just mentioned, being in a situation where the world's moving around you, like a car or something like that, that's, I think, where VR is really going to shine, especially for driving games, space simulators, things like that.
Yeah.
The problem is none of these have really come out yet, and not a single game has been VR only.
Wait, oh my God. So last year they had the fucking car on stage, right? So
the Forza car, yeah.
What if this year the platform comes up and you're like, here's the car, and there's no car there, and they're like, that's because the car is in here, and they take a fucking Oculus Rift out of a bag.
Be rough. That'd be rough if they did that. The other thing that's been confirmed, or rather leaked, not confirmed, is that Dead Rising 4 will be shown during the conference as well, which makes sense. Dead Rising 3 was a launch title for the Xbox One. It was probably the best launch title for the Xbox One, but it was not an amazing. It was an all right game. It wasn't the fucking bee's knees. So hopefully they're going to be updating that and making that the bee's knees. But Gears of War 4, Crackdown 3, and Dead Rising 4, and probably Forza Horizon 2. I don't think they're going to announce whatever the main version of Forza is called. I think it's Motorsport is the name of that. I think they're going to go is it Forza Horizon 2 or 3? I think it's 3.
3.
2, yeah, 2's already out. Yeah, I remember that. Which is awesome. I hope they actually care about the music in that game this time, because playing a driving game like Forza and having shitty music makes for a shitty game, in my opinion. You have to have like really good music for it to make me want to play that game. So we'll see if they can do that. And then Sea of Thieves, like Strippin was saying. But apart from that, we don't know if Microsoft is going to be announcing the Scorpio console. We also don't know what games, and they probably have an hour, if not an hour and a half, to fill. So a lot of unknowns there. Anyone want to take
a lot of curveballs?
Yeah, anyone want to take a guess of what the curveball is before we move on to the next conference?
Gonna have like a big indie section that they'll hit us with.
We'll probably see Below. I bet you we see Below, which, interesting enough, if you watch I don't know how to intro it, but The Thing on /Twitch last night, the pre-show, they actually had the creators of Below on there showing footage of it, and saying that it was coming out this summer, and we're in June. So they have 2 more months basically to get that out before that becomes a lie. And so I think we'll probably see a release date, because he was very non-committal to that, besides saying summer. I bet you we see a release date during the Xbox conference for that, since it is only shipping on Xbox One and PC.
Bunch of people saying that the Halo Wars 2.
Oh yeah, Halo's War. Yeah, they announced that was one of the games that was kind of like what the fuck last year. Because the first Halo Wars, it was all right. For those that don't know, Halo Wars is the Halo RTS that came out a long, long time ago.
Yeah.
And it was an all right game. I played through it when I did my Halo playthrough with all the games in it, but it wasn't a standout title by any means. So they'll have to definitely try to sell a lot of people on that. So,
And we've got like potentially Wolfenstein, but probably a Sony.
I would think that's going to be at Sony only because Sony just has sold more consoles. So any big exclusives, Microsoft would have to pay a lot of money for it. And I don't know if Wolfenstein is a title they would want, especially when it would compete with Gears of War 4 probably. Like,
What
those are
about Recore?
Oh yeah, Recore, yes.
Recore,
That was like the knack of Microsoft.
And that will be there. I think that's all but confirmed as well. That was from the Mega Man guy and his Kije or I'm gonna screw up the name. Inafune, I think, is the creator of Mega Man, is working on that. And we'll probably see that, which is good because last year all we saw was a CG trailer where they took the core of this thing and put in a bunch of different robots, and that was it. So hopefully we see gameplay of that because that looked really cool. We just didn't know what the fuck it was. So
I wouldn't be surprised to see things like Undertale coming to Xbox, just like games that have been out already. They'll be announcing as console.
Yeah.
You know.
Just in like a quick highlight reel of just like these are some indie games coming.
Yeah, games that we're gonna have on
Yeah.
Xbox now.
Probably
Yeah.
be like Cuphead and just a bunch of successful indie titles from Steam.
We'll probably see Cuphead actually. Yeah, they put out a platformer trailer last week for that because the game before that was you only fought bosses.
Right.
And the platforming actually looked just as good as the boss fights in terms of animation quality and all that stuff. So we'll probably see some more
I
of
guess
that.
that's true. I had sort of assumed because of the demos on the floor at the last few events that it was just a like fighting bosses over and over again game.
Yeah. So on, I'm looking at on /Twitch right now. Their schedule says 9:30 for the Xbox E3 briefing, which is on time, and then 11:15 for the PC gaming showcase. So that's only an hour. Oh wait, no, that's more than an hour. Sorry, I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that's actually quite long. So maybe
L45.
maybe Xbox is gonna do the Scorpio shit because they need that extra amount of time to talk about that. We'll see. We'll find out soon because Xbox will be the first one. Right after that, though, will be the PC gaming showcase. If you remember from last year, that was the debut of the showcase. It is sponsored by PC Gamer, and I think ATI is the big driving force behind all of that. So it's not really the same as the Xbox or Sony or Ubisoft or any of the other conferences because it is a sponsored broadcast. But I'm trying to think. Last year, was there any? I think they announced Total Warhammer last year, didn't they? Total Warhammer.
There's already been a company tweeting about the PC Gamer thing today, and actually, I'm really excited to see it. Obsidian has tweeted that we're going to see more from the Tyranny RPG today, which I am super interested in. That's the one where evil is already won, and it's like you play in the post-conquered world. So it should be really cool.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know what else could pop up there. I don't know what to expect from that conference at all. Last year, it was kind of a sit-down thing where Sean Day9 would come out and introduce people, and he'd sit them down at the desk, and they'd talk, and it was kind of awkward and not that great. And then 5 minutes,
super cringe.
It was kind of like it was just odd. It wasn't cringe. It was just odd. It was like it was very unlike anything you see at E3. Most people are standing on the stage and talking to the crowd. This felt like a talk show night, like a Stephen Colbert type deal where he's sitting down interviewing someone, like a late night show, and it's that repeated 10 or 15 times with different devs.
Right.
And then they're done, and that's it. So I don't know what to expect from that. They're
trailers?
Do what? They played some trailers, yeah.
Did they announce where CD Projekt Red was going to be? Are they going to be the PC gaming conference?
I don't know. They might show up there. They'll probably announce it there.
I want Cyberpunk info so bad.
They already announced it's not going to be
there.
there.
Already announced
No.
Yeah, it's not going to be there.
We do know though that they've already confirmed a Gwent standalone, and I mean like an actual they've already released the images from the standalone stuff and everything, and they've teased in the past about an IP between Witcher and Cyberpunk. So there's one of those like 0.1% chances we may get some more info about that. But
Right.
anything from CD Projekt Red is good though.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that'd be great to see anything from them. The Gwent thing is pretty much all but announced. So if they're gonna announce it, that's probably the biggest stage they'll get, unless it's some sort of console. Unless they also announce that for consoles and they throw that into an Xbox or a Sony conference. So
Yeah.
we'll see with that. But a lot of people aren't covering the PC gaming conference, or the PC gaming showcase is the actual name for it. So I
We
don't
call
know
them
what to expect there. Do what? What was that, Co?
I said we call them traitors.
Yeah, exactly. And the other thing too is that'll be the one conference, the one showcase, whatever, where 60 FPS actually comes into play, because I don't actually expect that to pop up in any other conference.
Yeah.
And if it does, I'd be very surprised. So that's the second showcase of the day, which will start pretty quickly actually after the Xbox One. But then right after that, as we take a look at the schedule, is my favorite conference every E3 because it's always the best.
Because of Aisha.
Because of Aisha Taylor, because of Yves Guillemot, however the fuck you say it. I'm terrible at
As
pronouncing his
long
name.
as I just get to see them standing next to each other a lot, because it's adorable.
Yeah, because he's so short and she's pretty
He's
tall.
so short. She's so tall. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, stop. I love it.
Yeah, I love
real.
the Ubisoft
It's
conference.
just like on Archer.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. The Ubisoft conference is something special every year, just because of how Aisha Tyler does a great job of not being like a CEO, like a stiff of E3, but she also does a really good job of just making sure that if a joke doesn't land, she just goes straight. She fucking puts a nail in that and just dives it into you, which is hilarious. I love that. It's so great.
Dude, she used it to her advantage. She makes things that aren't funny when they bomb. It's a really good talent for a stand-up comic.
And they're also really good at like upscaling all their shit so it looks great before you buy it.
Right, that's a huge thing. Yeah.
But I am really excited about For Honor. So
They're going to be showing some cool stuff today. They've got For Honor. We both played that. I don't know if anyone else played that. Tally, I think you might have been there with us at PAX Prime.
Yeah, I played with you guys around.
Yeah. And it was pretty fun. Like, I enjoyed that. I think they're going to be showing the Vikings today. Twitch's show is getting started, but they're going to be showing the Vikings and unveiling that.
Would Ubisoft be where we get more info about the South Park game?
Yes, they've already announced that it will be there. We're going to see South Park:
Sick.
The Fractured Butthole, which is awesome.
Did they? I remember there was something that touched on this, but I don't remember what it was. And it may be that they're not going to show it. But are we going to get more stuff about Horizon?
I hope so.
Well, that was good. Yeah.
Wait, Horizon?
Horizon Zero Dawn. Horizon Zero Dawn.
Oh yeah, that's Sony. That's
That's
Sony.
Sony.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
Sony. Oh,
Yeah.
shoot. Okay,
They put out their trailer last week for that, but we'll get to Sony at the end of that. At the end of this, but yeah, we'll definitely see more of that. I would think they're probably going to show that. Ubisoft has announced that Wildlands will be there, South Park will be there, For Honor will be there, and then of course I don't know how to be. The Watch Dogs 2 is going to be there. Like
The Watch Dogs too.
there was a huge
Watch
thing.
the Watch Dogs.
They did a big push last week, which is kind of weird that they did this huge push a week before E3 for the game. I don't know if that's because they wanted to spend more time and kind of reintroduce Watch Dogs to everyone or what, but they did a huge sponsored broadcast with Nerd Fusion for it. A ton of people were covering it. I think this was last Wednesday, so I don't know. To me, that seems like they want to not show that much during E3, and they wanted to show it all last week.
Or they want people asking about it at E3. They want people like to have wet appetites, hoping that they bit down, and now they're wanting to, see people kind of try. Hey, is Watch Dogs going to be there? Is Watch Dogs going to be?
Yeah.
But honestly, I got to admit, I saw a little bit of the coverage and stuff, and I mean, some of it looks cool, but it's so weird to get hyped about a game that, like, Watch Dogs 1. We all saw exactly what happened there. So it's super weird. Like, how could you get hyped about Watch Dogs 2? We're just going through it with Watch Dogs.
God, where did there was like a little blip of Watch Dogs 2 that was basically the game in a nutshell. And I wish I could find it because it was one of the funniest it sounded like a 13-year-old wrote it. Like, it sounded really bad. And I wish I could find that. I don't know where that was, but it was fucking hilarious. I'll try to find that as we go on. But apart from that, Ubisoft does have the usual ability, as we've seen year after year, to just announce a game out of For Honor was that game last year, and a lot of people really and what else? But they showed Wildlands as well, but it was only CG trailer last year. So they have this ability to just announce new IPs, and people are just like, "What the fuck is that?"
For Honor was announced earlier, though, right?
The Division.
You guys both asked.
Oh yeah. For Honor.
For Honor was announced. Was that announced 2 E3s ago?
That was playable at PAX.
Announced 2 E3s
like
ago,
last year.
playable
Yeah.
last
Okay,
year.
that's right. So
What year is it?
have they announced a release date for that? I don't.
No, but they had like a closed beta already.
Okay, well if they don't have one out there, we'll get a release date today for sure.
Yeah, they don't have one out yet.
Okay, so that's what they're going to announce. They're going to announce the release date for that.
And
which I'm
actually, it
expecting
was
to be fall.
announced at last year's E3.
Okay, so there you go. I thought it was last year. I wasn't sure though. We'll definitely get a release date, and it's probably going to be sometime this fall. Sam, were you asking about the Division? Do you think they're going to comment on that? Is that what you're saying?
Think they're going to apologize to us and then probably announce the Division Underground, which is the
the big DLC?
Expansion, right?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Even though there's only 7% of the player base left, those guys are going to really enjoy that. And I also want to make a bet that someone is going to fucking do No Man's Sky again because it got delayed.
No Man's Sky will be on PlayStation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, if they did that would be
Again.
horrible.
No, they're going to show No Man's Sky on PlayStation because PlayStation's been the
Showed it
biggest
for, like,
push.
an hour last year.
Yeah.
Like I've actually at this point I've maybe beat the game. They've showed me that much fucking shit about this game.
We'll get to Sony, but I think they're going to lean on that with VR. I think that's going to be a big VR push. But that's my bet is that they push it on VR. But Ubisoft, anything else you guys are expecting, looking for their conference besides just like great memes, awesome clips,
Good hashtag jokes.
great
Come
hashtag
to
jokes?
expect them now. So
Yeah.
if there are no hashtag jokes, I'll really feel like they're losing their voice.
I want to see. I want to see Prince of Persia, man. Like a new version of it.
Oh, Prince of Persia, I'd be super into
Because
that.
I know they've been talking about it for like years that they're going to make a new one. I love the last one they made. I don't know what system it was for, but
That sparked a great point. We might see new Prince of Persia. They delayed Assassin's Creed for the first time in a very long, like 10 years or some shit ever since the first game was announced, where they're not doing a title every year. Do they show something from a new Assassin's Creed now that they've taken a year off? Do you think they mention that at all, or they just skip it?
Delay it for the movie?
the movie's coming out.
They delayed it to basically work on the game, but the movie probably had a factor in it. Yeah.
I was going to say, actually, a lot of people are starting to speculate it was the movie.
Yeah.
That was why they delayed it.
No.
So, I mean, for them, that Assassin's Creed is a cash cow. Every time they put it out, the core buys it. It keeps selling. So, yeah, I don't think they're trying to exactly reinvent the wheel with the next one either. Although I hope they are.
I hope
it's
they
a
are.
Black Flag 2 or something.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, we'll see.
And I'm not alone when I say this, but Syndicate, their last one, was actually an all right Assassin's Creed game. It wasn't terrible like Unity, where Unity was just a complete fucking clusterfuck of bad.
think
Like it
It's
was
kinda
just terrible.
sad. Yeah, because apparently everybody who gave Syndicate a shot said that it was good.
That was the first Assassin's Creed game. I didn't even finish Black Flag. I got tired of fucking sailing around. I finished Syndicate.
What? But that's the best part of Black Flag.
I finished Syndicate. For me, the best part of an
What does that
Assassin's
tell you?
we talked about this ad nauseum. The best part of an Assassin's Creed game is fucking stabbing people. I'm sorry, but that's the best part of Assassin's Creed game.
And the worst part is going back to like the fucking future and walking around like a dick.
Yes, and that's why they fucking just scrapped
yes,
that.
I agree. I agree with that.
Yeah. So,
Don't you want to be in the Animus? Yes.
do you think they mentioned the movie? Do you think they talk about the movie at all, or is
They
this
would have to talk about.
They probably will. Yeah.
maybe bring out Michael
It's
Fassbender
their
or
target
whatever?
audience.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh my God, Michael
Real
Fassbender as their
Magneto.
celebrity guest.
Yeah, maybe they have him show. They always have. So, like, do you remember when they fucking had Usher come out and do a song
Yes.
for Dance Central or
Holy
whatever?
shit. Musical interlude at one of them. That's another bet. There will be a musical part of one of them today.
If there's a musical part of any conference, 100% it's Ubisoft.
Oh God.
Because no one else does that shit anymore. They've learned not to fucking have a musical fucking guest on any of your conferences, but Ubisoft never
I'm
learns.
betting Snoop Dogg, JP.
Snoop Dogg shows up on what? Ubisoft?
Yes.
Okay, there you go. Is he?
Just
Well,
saying.
he's
I heard there
awesome.
was going to be Blink-182, and I was disappointed.
He was in Bethesda. They were at Bethesda. They
I don't
they
think they actually play.
yeah
They
they
actually played last night at Bethesda.
they interviewed them in the post game show. Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb interviewed them in the post game show, and they talked to, I think, Mark. If history serves my brain correctly, Mark is the lead singer of Blink-182, and they talked to him about like, so what games do you play? And he's like, oh, I like retro games on my mobile device. And they're just like, great, we don't have any of that here at Bethesda, you fucking moron. Which I thought was just great. So they did interview them, and they did play at the very end of the Bethesda thing last night in their hangar. So,
I wonder if Blink-182 is ever going to get to the point where "What's My Age Again" is going to have an entirely new set of connotations. What's my age again?
maybe so. Maybe when we're all in our 60s, that they'll re-debut it.
They were older when I was younger and heard them. They've got to be pretty old by now.
They're in their 40s. Travis Barker's looking a little dated. He looked a little bit
don't
rough.
want to see that.
You could definitely tell last night that he's dyeing his beard like brown. Like he has a dyed fucking beard because it's all gray. I don't know why he just didn't leave it gray. But maybe they have to look good for the kids. Who knows? Someone
For the kids.
Yeah.
Is Square going to be in Sony's conference this year?
Probably. Yeah, we can go ahead and just move on to Sony. The last thing I do want to say, though, someone sent me that blurb. This is actually on, I think this is from Uplays where they have this posted. So it says Watch Dogs 2. It's got the picture of the main character in San Francisco because that's where the game's set. And it says, welcome to San Francisco. Play as Marcus, a brilliant young hacker, and join the most notorious hacker group, DedSec. Your objective, execute the biggest hack of the history. It just says
Of the history?
Of the history.
Execute the biggest hack of the history.
Of the history on the world.
Yeah, like it just reads really weird, and I love it.
Oh my god!
I love
From
that.
your iPhone too.
I hope they do the other thing too is I bet you I'll take this bet. They do the fucking thing where they drop all the lights in the conference room, in the showcase, whatever auditorium they're in, and then they have like the big spotlights come out, and some guy tells you about how fucked up the world is right now, but there's a hacker that's gonna save them all, and then they introduce Watch Dogs 2. That's the best.
and then they look down and there's like a touch device in their chair, and they're like, just input
Yes.
Your credit card information.
Your credit card
Yeah.
to help us save the world,
There
and
you
the
go.
security code on the back.
That's how you pre-order it.
With 3 easy payments of $29.99.
World.
Save the world.
Exactly. So we're about 20 minutes out from the Xbox conference, but the final conference that we're going to be looking at today will be Sony's, and as always, everyone's kind of looking for that. After last year, which I think we need to probably mention, last year's Sony conference was fucking ridiculous. It actually, in a world where Fallout 4 was announced at Bethesda's, Sony kind of went above and beyond Bethesda's conference somehow.
Yeah.
They announced the fucking Final Fantasy VII remake and broke the internet. Then they announced fucking the Shenmue Kickstarter and broke the internet because they announced the fucking Kickstarter.
Immediately funded.
Yeah, which got immediately funded, I think, the next day. I remember watching that live during E3 last year, and it was like, that's 1 million in the okay, all right, we're past 1 million now. We're going into 2 million. Like, that was a very fucking weird conference with all the shit they announced. So, do they do that again? Can they do that again? Can they be fucking crazy again?
I feel like
Depends on what titles they do. If they do like Last of Us sequel and God of War 4 and
God of War.
Dude, if they announced The Last of Us 2, that could clinch E3 for
It
Sony.
could. It
Like
could.
that could be the Fallout 4 of E3 2016.
I agree.
Because that's the thing. We have not yet had a Fallout 4 of 2016. Like that's going to
We
be
haven't.
the new like giant bomb drop of a title, and we have not had one of those yet. So I'm really hoping we see one of those today. If we don't see one of those today, then this whole E3 is a flop.
I think just to
They
rattle off
announced
some
the-
games.
Oh.
Go ahead, Brooke.
If they announce a release date for Kingdom Hearts,
So
That'll
that's what I was gonna
fucking
say.
make people lose their minds.
Like just the games that they could potentially say, Last of Us 2, we might see that. They might have something from Naughty Dog because Uncharted 4 is out. They don't have a current title. Crash Bandicoot might show up. That's fucking been rumored for years. I don't know what a Crash Bandicoot looks like in 2016. I don't know if that game's relatable. I don't know if a platformer like that actually makes sense to have a huge first party company like Naughty Dog working on that. Kingdom Hearts 3 will definitely be shown. I think, Sam, you were asking where that ends up. I think it ends up, unless Microsoft decided to buy that, because the Final Fantasy ads on the outside of the building, unless I was seeing a photoshopped image, they actually have Xbox One on there and not PlayStation 4. So we might see Final Fantasy end up on Xbox conference.
What? That would be so
Which would be
weird.
really weird.
That would be super awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be confused.
Yeah.
Also, it looks like a lot of people from the chat have been confirming. It looks like they've already said there won't be Last of Us 2 at the conference. So
Okay.
that's kinda,
There you go.
yeah.
The other thing,
Last Guardian though.
The Last Guardian, another game, will definitely be there. We
Oh
showed a
my
lot.
God.
They showed a lot of
That
it last
game-
year.
The
It's
Horizon game.
so old. It oh my god. I don't
It's a
know
very
how
old game.
they can release that game and have it look like it's current gen.
Yeah, it'll be the art direction, the art style can go a long way, I would think, with that game, but maybe not that long. I don't know. We'll have to see if they show that. Definitely Horizon, which they already released the trailer for last week, which was kind of like a cinematic gameplay trailer. We'll probably see some actual gameplay from that with the HUD and everything. There was something. Oh, if Red Dead 2 is a real thing,
Oh,
I think Sony is where it gets announced. I
Yeah.
think anything Rockstar that's new, whether it's Agent, whether it's Red Dead, whether it's not a new GTA. There's no way in hell they're going to announce a new GTA. But whether it's a new GTA, whatever Rockstar has, I think it shows up at Sony.
really?
This may be a dumb question, but why absolutely no GTA?
I just think it's too soon. They
think it's
just
too
put out DLC for the GTA 5 like last week. I think they're still making so much fucking money from that game that they don't want to stop just yet. Like that game has microtransactions in it where you can buy, I don't know the name of it, but you can buy GTA cash,
Yeah.
and it's making them like a fuck ton of money, just like stupid money. And so I don't think they want to diminish that at all by announcing a new GTA.
Do you think they would maybe announce more content for GTA 5?
They might, maybe. I don't know if that's what you would want in a Sony conference though. Like maybe they announced that at E3 in general, but I don't know if that's what you would want at a Sony conference. So I don't know. We'll see.
JP, I had Red Dead Redemption 2 as an exclusive for Xbox this morning.
I'm trying to think. Where did I think they pushed the original Red Dead on the original on
Xbox.
360?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe their allegiances lie there. Like maybe that makes sense. That would be a
Oh,
huge fucking
shit.
thing.
Whoever has Red Dead wins.
Yeah, like
like for a lot of people, that's how it's going to be determined.
yeah. The only reason a lot of people are thinking Red Dead 2 is a thing, rather than besides it just being like time for that game to come out, is that there was a lot of concept art leaked. So we'll see.
Some big stuff for Sony. We've got Kojima.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll hear something from Kojima at Sony. Would love to get some new information on what he's working on.
Right.
Also hints of a VR Armored Core, which would actually kind of go back to what Dodger was saying earlier about being situated in one place and having the world travel around you like a
God,
mech.
VR mech game would
Oh,
be
I didn't-
so
yeah.
good.
Amazing.
I didn't even mention that. VR is going to be there during the Sony
Yeah.
conference. It has, like, PSVR is going to be there. So what games do they show that? An Armored Core could very
Armored
well
Core-
be true.
But also Neo, we may see some more stuff about Neo there. And also From Software has already said that they're working on titles that have not been officially announced yet. So
Might
we may
see
see
Bloodborne too.
I was going to say, what happens if they drop a Bloodborne 2 bomb?
I
on us?
mean,
like, that could be
Really
big.
So-
funny.
That's
Dark
the
Souls
thing.
DLC though.
If
Like,
they-
so bad.
Well, okay, that's true. Dark Souls DLC, I think, shows up at Sony or Microsoft. One of the two. I think it shows up for sure. And they'll probably have like the gameplay trailer. If not, we'll see that somewhere at E3. They have to show that because it comes out this Christmas. So
They
to
have
show.
something though, because like from, well, Namco reached out to me and were like, "We have something at E3. You should book an appointment."
So that's if Sony. So we were talking about how can Sony one up themselves or match themselves. I don't think they can one up it. If they Kingdom Hearts 3 release date and it's in 2016, Red Dead 2, and then they fucking drop Bloodborne 2, and then they show Last Guardian, it looks good, and then PSVR looks good. Like, that's a pretty strong conference right there with just what I mentioned, besides everything else that they're going to show. Besides God of War 4, which the trailer leaked last night. It's a thing, apparently, unless it was a fan-made trailer, which I don't think it is. It's Norse mythology that's happening. And I don't... The thing about God of War 4 is that used to be like the one more thing at the end of the conference. I don't think it's a one more thing anymore. I think God of War has kind of fell out of favor for a lot of people just because they've played the game so fucking much and they know what that game is. So I don't know what the one more thing is unless it's like a Bloodborne 2, which people would fucking lose their minds at for sure.
We'll probably get a brief snippet of Persona 5 somewhere as well.
Oh,
I hope so. Yeah. Yeah.
that would be so good.
They showed some footage of that. Where did that come from? There was a footage of that like a month or two ago.
Was it DICE?
Maybe.
Was it DICE that they showed it at? I don't know. But we did get like a much newer trailer recently, though.
Yeah, and it's looking good. It looks awesome. It looks so fucking good. It looks exactly like you would want a Persona game to be. So.
Yep. It is already confirmed for E3, Persona 5.
They said what?
And that one's already been confirmed for E3.
Oh, okay, awesome. Yeah.
Okay. So apparently, No Man's Sky just put a thing out about keeping an eye on the Sony conference.
There you go.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
So
And, also,
I think here's the bet. No Man's Sky is their lead title for VR. I guarantee you that's their lead title for VR.
Mm.
That's how they rope people into buying a VR this Christmas is like No Man's Sky VR, which would also be a good reason for them to have delayed it all the way till August. Because maybe they're doing a pack-in thing where if you buy a PSVR, you get No Man's Sky for free or something like that. Which would be kind of weird to have all of that push for a game the past 2 years, and then you package it in with hardware on your system. Like, that would be really weird. That'd be really weird. You just found some crazy stuff, it looks like. I saw the lean in.
I think Nino might have a release date for Sony.
Hold on. CD Projekt Red is doing something weird.
What are they doing?
They're putting up some really big, weird-looking art.
Is that on the side of the fig?
Yeah, the building.
That's
I don't
Gwent.
know.
That's Gwent.
That's for Gwent?
Yeah. On the
Yeah,
Figaro.
the 3 building skyscrapers, yeah.
Yeah. That's
So
all
weird.
but confirmed for
Is
Gwent.
that Mr. T?
They've been building that for a week. I think all of the signage is at the bottom. Can you link that image somewhere so I could just show everyone what you're talking about?
This is a few days old on Brian Shea's Twitter. That's the first pictures I saw. Someone just linked it in chat.
Okay.
Man, that's really... I hadn't seen that yet. That is ridiculous.
Yeah. I don't think it's there. All right. I don't think I can find it, rather. But yeah, that's...
Let me link it to you. I'll link it to you.
Okay. I think... I don't know where Gwent shows up. Like, and the other thing, too, is that a big get? Like, a Gwent standalone game? Do people lose their minds at that, Co?
People really love Gwent. It's really cool. I was one of the biggest fans of it in Witcher 3. I played it every opportunity I had. But one thing that I will say about Gwent is one of the reasons Gwent was so incredibly awesome to play was that it was a game, a very cool, great game that existed in the Witcher 3 world. I really don't know how much I personally would play it like as a standalone game without all that lore and all that other interesting stuff happening around it. And also it was really cool in Witcher because a lot of the Gwent games you were playing with like against characters in the game world. So it kind of had this feel. But now one thing I will say though is it's going to be really interesting to see Gwent evolve from a you versus the computer game to multiplayer and all the stuff associated with that, like competitive Gwent and things of that nature. Also, I don't know all the details about the standalone. I'd be surprised if they didn't introduce a lot of new cards because all of us Witcher 3 Gwent players, like we played that into the ground. I could probably name off 95% of the cards right now. So it'd be really weird if they didn't like dramatically expand on the game as a standalone.
Yeah.
But on that same path, it's like, well, okay, if they're going to expand on it, could they mess it up? especially because they just like did this big thing about the Skellige faction coming with Blood and Wine. So it brings up all these questions that I don't think we have a lot of answers to yet. That we can talk a lot more about Gwent once we hear that from CDPR.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go around real quick. 'Cause we are about 9 minutes from Xbox's conference, and I want to take just for VOD's sake, I want to take a break right before that and cut this off. Let's go around real quick. What is the game you're most looking forward to see announced today, or see footage of? Just what's the one singular game, or the one singular thing, maybe a better way of putting that. Tally, we'll start with you. We'll go opposite. We'll start with you today. What's the one single thing you want to see?
Like I said before, man, I want to see Red Dead Redemption 2 come to Xbox exclusive, so I can have a reason to use this. Because I played about a total of like 6 hours total ever.
The one thing that I would hope with that is that they announce it for Xbox, but it's also coming to PC, and they also announce
a later date for the PS4 and PC.
They also say that there's a Red Dead Redemption remake coming for the PC as well. That would be fucking killer if they announced that.
Yeah. Other than that, Crackdown. I love the series. So I'm hoping to see a lot of Crackdown 3. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I was a huge Crackdown fan.
Cool. Co, your camera's lagging, so if you want to restart that, feel free. What's the one thing that you're looking forward to the most today?
It's a close tie between anything from Kojima, which I don't even think has been hinted at yet, unfortunately.
That's what I was thinking.
And From Software. I'd really like to know what From Software is working on, and I really hope they announce more than just Dark Souls 3 DLC. Like, I want to know what they're really working on, not just what they're kind of doing for Dark Souls. I want to know what their next big thing is.
Okay. We might see a Bloodborne 2. I would be into that if they showed some Bloodborne 2 shit.
Dude, Bloodborne was amazing.
It was fucking,
or like
DLC was amazing too.
They're like rumored about like a cyberpunk Dark Souls
right
in the future as well.
That people would lose their fucking mind if they dropped that. Yeah. Like any like space tech, future tech, anything besides a medieval or Lovecraftian Dark Souls would be fucking insane. People would.
That would be awesome.
I don't even.
If they announced Bloodborne on the PC, I know it would never happen.
Yeah.
But,
I don't think that would happen. Actually, I don't think that would happen. They would have to do Demon Souls as well. Well, I guess they could because Sony owns that, and I guess. Anyways, that's a weird thing. Dodger, what about you? What's your one thing?
I don't know.
The unknown? Are you gonna cheap out? Is it the unknown?
No, I do really want to know what Kojima's got going on. But I also would love to know if CD Projekt is working on something else.
Besides Cyberpunk.
Besides Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
I've also, ever since using a Vive, I'm like a total believer in VR now. It was, kind of like hit or miss in my mind. And I'd just love to see somebody really going for a possible VR RPG. So everything is like very vague for me, like things that I want. It's nothing like no specific games. It's just like I want the nebulous areas to be clearer.
Yeah. I think if we talk about this a lot, and it's a very common theme amongst people talking about VR. Whoever gets the first good VR game, I think will make a shit ton of money because no one's done it yet. There's no actual game for that just yet. Yeah. And if anyone's going to make a good game, it's not going to be Oculus. They're hardware devs. It's not going to be HTC. They make phones and hardware. It's going to be Sony. They know how to fucking make games. They have a giant first-party dev team that could work on PlayStation VR games. So whatever that one game is, whatever their game that they pitch is the holy grail for PSVR, I want to see what that is because I don't know what that is. And I would be very, very interested to find out. So I think that's my biggest thing is like, what's the game they pitch for PSVR? Strippin', last but not least, what about you?
For me, Co kind of touched on it. I would love something from.
You are the diehard Souls fan on the cast.
Yeah, I want to see more about Sea of Thieves, and I want a For Honor release date. They're like the things I want.
Oh, what? What was the final one?
A For Honor release date.
Oh, yeah, we're gonna get that for sure. Do you think it comes out this year?
I think it does. Yeah.
You think early fall? You think like August?
Yeah.
Do they try to compete with the shooters in October? You know, Titanfall 2, Battlefield 1. Do they wait for that, or do they try to come out before?
I think they come out early.
Okay.
I mean, if I was them, I would.
Right.
But
we'll see. We'll see. That'll wrap up our pre-show, though. We're about 4 minutes away from the Xbox conference, so we're going to take a quick little break. It's not even going to be more than 30 seconds. I'm just going to go over the title screen, cut the VOD, start a new VOD. We'll come back and do Xbox, and then we're on for quite some time. I think we'll have a break probably between Xbox and Ubisoft, about a 15-minute break, and then Xbox and the PC Gaming Conference. And then I think PC Gaming and Ubisoft will lead on right next to each other, and then a longer break between Ubisoft and Sony, because Sony does not happen for quite some time tonight as we look at the schedule. Not till 9 p.m. Eastern, so there's about a 5-hour period between Ubi and Sony. So we'll see what else they're showing on Twitch. Maybe we'll just talk about that stuff, or we'll just take a full-on break. But regardless, we're going to take a quick 30-second break just so I can cut the VODs. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. More E3 footage comes up right after this. We'll see you then.